for Showtime Movie News with the Australian premiere of Snow White and the Huntsman. Yes, this is another take on the classic fairy tale, and while it's definitely not the fairest of them all, I'd say it's the best yet. It's based on the original Brothers Grimm story of 1812, a lot darker and visually amazing with perfectly cast, complex characters. Even the dwarfs get a backstory. It stars Kristen Stewart and Chris Hemsworth in the title roles, and they're both here in Sydney to walk the white carpet.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is fairest of them all?
You are the fairest, but there is another destined to surpass you.
What does she want from me?
Consume her heart, and you shall rule forever.
You certainly put Snow White through her paces, and you are too, especially with those pivotal scenes of you charging along on horseback when your greatest fear is horse riding. For most, that would have been a deal breaker when they first read the script, not you?
No, I knew that it was going to be sort of the very last detail of sort of the last hurdle, to get over. I had fallen off a horse when I was younger. I wasn't like traumatized by it. I just, it's not my favorite thing. And to do it with 100 horses behind you charging down a beach, it's, you can't not be affected by that. And I'm glad that he was next to me because I looked over at him and he was just as scared, so it made me feel better.
Find me someone who doesn't fear the dark forest to hunt her down.
Hey! If I refuse... Who are you? Why is the Queen wants you dead?
You should know you're the one hunting me.
For those who don't know who the Huntsman is, who is he?
In this version, he's a lost soul, He's been through some tragedy, and which has led him down a path of drinking and sort of whatever other sort of negative things fall into that. He's an open wound, and by the time he meets Snow White, that hope that sort of he's lost in himself and the world around him starts to relight itself because of her courage and her strength.
What do you intend to do with it?
Why do you care? You did your job well. Now keep your word.
Now you've had everybody from Johnny Depp to Viggo Mortensen to Hugh Jackman offered the role for the Huntsman, and yet you chose Chris.
I think when I was lucky to see Thor early on, and I was amazed at the kind of the charisma, but also the charm that he had, and obviously the physical presence. It wasn't really until I met him that it really gelled. He's got this very kind of deep voice, very kind of, I don't know, there's something very grounded about him and kind of hidden, and that to me was a facet that the Huntsman really needed. And it's funny, you go through these journeys on castings, it's a strange alchemy, and you get to the end, you're like, how would we have done this with anyone else apart from who we ended up with?
No, dwarves.
Kill them both, yeah. This causes nothing but trouble.
I don't like killing girls.
I do.
Good.
With those dwarfs, did you just Google A-list British larrikins?
No, I wanted to make a British gangster movie, and they'd been on my wall for a while. And then when this came along, I was really struggling with how to do the dwarfs. And then I just thought maybe they should just be the British gangster movie I was trying to make. So I just moved the pile across, and that's how they became the dwarfs.
And so you obviously chose, real actors to play dwarfs.
Yeah.
How did you shoot them?
Lots of different techniques, really. I mean, I wanted to make sure that all their performance was captured and it wasn't face replacement. So, we used a lot of little people as doubles with prosthetic faces, and, we just did a little bit of smoke and mirrors, a bit of old filmmaking magic.
It's hard to believe this is Rupert Sanders' first feature film, but the award-winning commercial director is a visual genius. The detail in the production is astounding, with 23 sets especially built, elaborate set dressing, and utopian locations, one home to 800-year-old oak trees.
Well, not many people can boast shooting an enchanted castle in the Queen's backyard, can they?
No, we've been very lucky, that was the great thing about shooting in England. So much of that world still exists, and it was great for me to bring it to life.
Rupert was very adamant about not shooting on green screens and sets, and wanted to find these places that existed hundreds of years ago and shoot there and recreate that world. It was something you didn't have to sort of imagine you were a part of. It was very easy to lose yourself in that.
I so completely believed in the world that I'm in, the clothes that you're in, everything. Like, the details are very important for your own head, and everyone that we worked with so completely immersed us in this world. It was like we lived there, so it was perfect.
Where are we?
call it sanctuary, milady.
You have eyes, Huntsman, but you cannot see. She is the one. I see an end to darkness.